Here's another quick Houdini Modeler 2025 tutorial, but this time I'm going to focus on the Boolean operations and some workflows that I've been exploring with it. So here I am, I'm already in Houdini. I've already switched over to the Modeler workspace, and I'm going to just drop a box. Okay, I'm going to jump into the box, and here is where, if you haven't played with the Booleans yet, let me just show you just the basics of it. So here I've got this box. I'm going to duplicate this box. I'm going to bring it up, bring it out, boop a doop. Hit the subtract key. Boom. There's the most basic Boolean you can have. But the thing that, one of the nice things that Modeler plugin does for you is it makes a bunch of Houdini operations really easy to manipulate. So for instance, let's say I want to make this a panel. So I can actually come over to the Boolean node, go to the cutter section, and give it a thickness. So let's just, okay, that's a little aggressive. Let's make it say, yeah, let's do that, right? So now I've got a cutout, immediately got a cutout. Now let's give the cutter itself a bevel, and let's do it for the seam itself. So okay, that's a little aggressive again. Let's do that. Cool. Let's add some divisions to that, let's say. Awesome, right? And it's just so easy to do. And that's, again, just basics. But one of the things that I've found that you really want to be able to do is you want to be able to draw. Like, you know, the thing that I loved in Blender was the Hard Ops and BoxCutter plugin. And it allowed you to just draw simple shapes on your mesh and go. So there are two techniques that I've been exploring that have some promise and gets us closer to that Blender BoxCutter kind of workflow. And the first one literally is using Labs the Side Effects Labs BoxCutter Node. So literally, if I tab and do a BoxCutter, it puts me into BoxCutter mode. And how you use this is you click, drag, hit before you let go of the mouse, hold Control, push it in, hit A to stamp it. Looks kind of familiar if you're used to Blender, isn't it? Hit A. Okay. Super cool. And what it also allows you to do is it's keeping track of all the cutouts over here. So let's say I wanted to take that last cutout and manipulate it and change it. I could hit Make Live in order to change that thing around. Or sorry, move that up, move this over, and then stamp it again, right? That's super cool. It also gives you a couple other capabilities. And so before I go do something else here, I'm going to put another one of these guys in here. And before I make it or stamp it, I'm going to make a couple copies, make 5 copies and push those over in the cool, and then hit A. So that's super helpful, really cool. Another technique that I think is overlooked a lot is that once you do have a number of these cutouts, is you can make use of any of these shapes to create other cutouts. And so I selected a face here, and I'm going to duplicate that face. I'm going to move it up, and I'm going to thicken it, and then I'm going to hit subtract. So, and you can do that with anything, any face or any curve, in fact, to make that, to use that to your advantage. And I can even do that, let's take a couple others. Let's duplicate, move up. Let's thicken it. And there I go. Okay, and there's another promising technique that I've been exploring. It's kind of a merger of a couple. If you haven't seen this is very interesting, which is the ability to create quick shapes and draw them on your model. So I'm going to just hit tab, type quick shapes, hit enter. And what this allows you to do is literally draw shapes. I can draw a box, click, let go, click again. Now I'm going to draw a tube, click, let go, click twice. And actually, let's just see what that does for you. So now what that has done is it's created 2 objects. So it's done it at the object context, not in the geometry context. And that's super important because honestly, I feel like the modular subtraction, or I'm sorry, the Boolean operations, it's much more fluid at the geometry level versus the object. But we can use this and take advantage of a couple other modular techniques here into some further techniques I'm about to show you. So for instance, I'm going to take those, select those two, and I'm going to say geo to pivot, which pushes them both to the center of the world. And then I'm going to combine them. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up. I don't want the rotation. So I want to just get these back to defaults. The other stuff you can leave the same, but I want to clean up the rotation there. Then I'm going to cut these. I'm going to go up. I'm going to actually delete that and go back into our main box. I'm going to put these in. And what this has become, this is going to become a, our cutter collection, if you will. Okay. So why is this interesting? Well, this leads into the next piece, a next technique that I've been exploring. And that technique is another Side Effects Labs node called the pick and place. Okay. So I'm going to drop a pick and place, and it immediately winds because it wants basically a collection of nodes that I can use to place. And notice I'm in Labs pick and place mode. And now I've got the first object that I created in my collection there, and it's just connecting and attaching to the surface. And if I hold the control, or not the hold the control, if I roll the scroll wheel, I can go to the second object. And now all I have to do, if I want the exact same size, I click and let go. Click, let go. Go to the other one, click, let go. But it gets better. If I want to manipulate, let's say I didn't put that square in the right spot. I want to move it, hold the control key, move it up here, let's say. Okay. But I also want to put another box here, but I want to make it slow. So all I can do is just make it smaller there. And I can actually say, let's say I like that one, and say I want the next one to be the same size. Great. So then if I come back out of that, I select all these, just double clicking and holding Shift key, and I hit subtract. Really nice. So now you can imagine creating a number of objects that you could put in even into a subnetwork or what have you, and feed that into the pick and place. And if I hit Alt, drag this down, clear it, I can do this all again. Double click, subtract. That I'm finding really an interesting way to go. And these are all instances. So if I go and manipulate the original objects, let's say I go and manipulate that tube, that will actually change the instances. So that's both could be a good thing, but could be a bad thing depending on what happens. So between the pick and place, the box cutter, and just normal Boolean operations from just face selections, I think we've got a lot of room here to really get, fast and quick with the workflows that Modeler, coupled with some other nodes in the Houdini ecosystem, provide for us. Hope that helps.